Happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity and take part in this conference is super exciting. So I'm Yael. I'm the head of innovation and startup ecosystem at CityZone. We are Tel Aviv's leading lab for smart city ventures and a pilot program for tech startups that address urban challenges. And I want to discuss today a little bit about how that helps us in the mission of redesigning cities for a better living. So basically, we form a comprehensive ecosystem for smart city ventures. We host startups, multinationals, and policymakers from the city in our living lab to run their experiments and to test their innovatives and solutions under real city conditions. And how those technologies in an early stage helping us to make a better living. So we can examine the why of the decision of the Tel Aviv municipality to work with entrepreneurs. I think that's something that the Tel Aviv municipality understood a few years ago, that startups help municipalities to optimize. Anywhere you look in a city, from trash pickups to transportation and traffic management to policing, you're likely to find a technology working to optimize the experience of the city residents, the visitors, and the municipality administrations. And those new technologies bring solutions that answer a really difficult and complex challenges in the city's needs. So for which the market hasn't matured a well-established solution yet. The city understands the advantages of working with startups, very quick implementation with an interactive improvement cycle, fresh perspective, and a point of view of usually a very lean approach to a solution, less expensive than working on big projects with large companies. So in order to have the ability to influence how the solution meets the exact need, CityZone was founded. I think it's super important to understand the motivation behind the city startups relationship. So apart from the chance to be on top of new technologies and keep an eye on the future, there is a real ability to impact how the products built for municipalities and how they will work, how they would look like, and direct the entrepreneurs on a path that would lead the products to a better fit to the specific requirements and needs of local governments, and not just adaptations of solutions that were created to other industries. Also, reviewing innovative technologies enables cities to make sure the solutions play nicely with the existing infrastructures and the technology that already deployed throughout the city. And lastly, cities need to make sure that the right regulation is being put in place to support a positive and smoother introductions of new technologies. So we've all witnessed issues around gentrification and its effect on long-term lease contracts when short-term and vacation rental platforms emerge. We've also seen the chaos, at least in Tel Aviv, on our sidewalks when free-floating shared micromobility hits our city. So cities and city officials need to be proactive and understanding the future challenges that can be created by the introduction of solutions for the existing ones. And why startups should bother? So selling to municipalities, it's hard. It takes strength mentally and financially. We're talking about a long selling cycles, usually more than in regular enterprise sales. So the sooner a startup meets the customer, the easier it is to build a process that can be replicated and will allow the entrepreneurs to have a better understanding of the organization, its structure, budgetary and regulations constraints, and have a better process of prioritizing the decision making. So Tel Aviv is a small city on a global scale, less than 500,000 residents. It's an important city in Israel as the economic and cultural center of Israel. However, we have the same problems as in larger cities around the world. So solutions can be tested here on a smaller scale and then implemented elsewhere global. And you know what? We are fortunate because we have access to innovation. We live in one of the world's most fertile startup and innovation ecosystem, with one startup for every 260 residents. Second in the world in availability of venture capital. And this startup city responsible for 50% of Israel GDP. And Tel Aviv metro area alone is a home to 70% of the country's startups. So with over 600 startups focused on mobility and automotive industries and nearly 600 in the field of smart city and urban tech sectors. So CityZone ecosystem basically is an urban tech innovation and a living lab in Park Atidim Tel Aviv, which is a high-tech and business area in the city, gated area in the city, in collaboration with the Tel Aviv municipality and the Tel Aviv University. So this unique partnership between the academia, the private sector, and the municipality, bringing them all together around the discussion table. The city decision makers, the entrepreneurs themselves, the researchers, so they would able to understand all together best how we can redesign our city for better living for us all. Important to state about Park Atidim Tel Aviv. So this is the living lab, the beta site is 50% owned by the municipality and 50% owned by the University of Tel Aviv. So this unique municipal corporation is basically wise, clear, and understanding the ideal location for us. On the one hand, it's a real life city scenarios and use cases. Thousands of people work, well, not during COVID, but on a normal scale and the new normal, thousands of people working in this area and walking around the streets. Vehicle, public transports, parking, EV charging, shared mobility, micromobility, kindergarten, trash bins, energy, sewage, water, lighting, other infrastructures, and to name a few, dentist, gym, grocery, a real contained environment of a mini city. And we have a post office, like every other city. And on the other hand, no bureaucracy. We have a technical team on the ground that assists our startups in the implementation and locating their sensors and their tools. It's a security, operational, privately owned area, so they don't need to be afraid for vandalism and stuff. And we don't have a lot of regulations. So this living lab basically enables us to test the technology in a real life scenario and in the process support the city's procurement processes around new technologies. And just a word about how it works. So the Open Innovation Program, the CityZone team, as we work closely with different municipal champions to identify and prioritize key strategic urban challenges. Then we go to the ecosystem. We seek for entrepreneurs working on innovative solutions that address those specific challenges. The startups admitted to the program. It's a 12-month of non-equity program. They enjoy an office space with a unique opportunity to deploy their technology and test it in the living lab and obviously citywide. Each startup is assigned with a team of technical and professional experts from the Tel Aviv municipality, as well as from the Tel Aviv University with researchers and multinational corporates that are partners. So together they define the goals, the milestones, and metrics for the participants throughout the program. Basically, in this process, the city becomes a design partner, facilitating feedback on the product, on the technology, on the business case, taking such an early stage startups towards commercialization and growth. So the idea is to fill in the blanks where the market hasn't matured any products and it doesn't make sense for the municipality to develop in-house. So the process begins with a clear understanding of the different challenges bothering to cities and municipalities, based mostly on the experience of Tel Aviv experts. And we work with the different municipal departments, transportation authority, environmental protection agency, education, community, welfare, security, privacy, planning, mobility, and more. As we are uniquely positioned within the ecosystem, we're able to search and reach hundreds of startups with our publication, call for startups, and call for application. And not just cities. We work with anyone who cares about cities and the urban environment. So there are so many corporates working in this space, in the automotive industry, IoT, drones, cybersecurity, privacy, video analytics, and more. So we understand that they're a crucial player and they take a crucial part in our ecosystem. So we bring them along to meet with our startups, make use of our living lab, and take part in the discussion table with the city officials to better understand the urban challenges and brainstorm together for solutions. As part of our program, we help our startup, on a national scale, we help our entrepreneurs to reach other local cities in Israel by building relationships with government and local authorities around Israel. We have also created a soft landing mechanism through alliances with cities around the world. Agreements we secured already with Berlin, Madrid, Moscow, and Shanghai. And, by the end of the day, I think we want to learn from other cities how they create a better living, and in order to do that, we need to exchange knowledge, discussing common challenges, searching for solutions together, and also making it easier for our startups to grow internationally. So a little bit about the challenges and the different industries that we deal with in the smart city and urban tech environment. So our city partners work internally to raise key strategic challenges. They present them to us, and those day-to-day problems, in order to improve residents' lives in different neighborhoods in our city, we're dealing with only tech-oriented solution in the city. So there are a lot of initiatives, smart city initiatives, not non-tech and not related to tech. But here at CityZone, because of the beta site and the program itself, we're a tech-oriented solution only. So therefore, the problems and the challenges that we're focused on need to be a better or best fit for open innovation. So the CityZone team will match startup to showcase different ways in which their technology can meet the challenges. And a challenge-focused initiative helps in fostering innovation, increasing employment and employee engagement in the municipal officials, and helping them driving product development and actively approaching cutting-edge technology outside of the city challenges comfort zone by the end of it. So just for one or two examples, let's dive into the environmental and sustainability challenges. I think with more than 70% of global carbon emissions coming from cities, it is clear that we must find high impact solutions to the effects of climate crisis and on our cities. So one of the efforts is to seek ways to cool down our city. We look to the changing urban fabric environment of the past 2 decades with more buildings, vehicles, and pedestrians around the city, yet fewer trees, clean air, and shade. So to face these changing times, we focus on a few main problems that we seek the relevant technology to answer them. So the first one will be the measurement. So for us to understand what we up against, we're looking for better and more accurate ways of collecting relevant data at a microclimate level. So it will be in the infrastructure, surface temperatures, radiation, humidity, air quality, and more. In the energy, so solutions for active reduction of carbon footprint with a specific focus on energy efficiency, access to renewable energy, and energy storage at all levels and scales. And the last one will be, there are plenty more, but the last one I want to point out is the urban heat. So we're seeking for solutions for the reductions of heat generated by buildings, its measurements, again, and the assessment of solutions that integrate local urban nature, new building elements, and materials, and heat urban distribution in crowded, dense urban streets. So another example can be finding a solution for waste reductions and more. Maybe, being the largest metropolitan area in the country, the number of people commuting around the city is more than 3 times its population. This poses a massive challenge in providing high quality services based on existing infrastructure in the city. So we're looking for startups that focus on promoting autonomous transportation, specifically in the aspects of urban environment and infrastructure for autonomous driving through mapping, V2X, sensors, communication, etc. And obviously, some of the industry trends around autonomous, electric shared, connected vehicle, basically solutions that will help us move towards a world with fewer accidents, less congestions, and less pollution in urban areas. And the list of challenges goes on and on and on, because, in today's world, cities have much more significant impact on one's day-to-day lives compared to the central government in the field of mobility, security, infrastructure, communication, tourism, welfare. And by the end of it, I think cities are in charge of a range of domains that touch upon different aspects of our lives. And this is exactly why we publish those specific challenges in the different domains and admitted to the programs startups from different verticals and industries. So our portfolio startups, which cover a few of them, there are huge diverse, I think, industries in the urban tech domains. Maybe I'll just point out a few that have a different impact or direct impact on residents' lives. ITC is an adaptive, real-time, AI-based traffic light management system. They developed advanced machine learning algorithm to analyze the intersection in real time. They recognize the traffic pattern and tendencies and change the green light allocations per lane accordingly. So assuring minimum waiting time at the intersection for cars and maximizing the intersection capability. They can give prioritizing for public transport, pedestrians, etc. So their system can save lives, basically, by also deny the rights of passage to all directions in different dangerous situations. So they can protect other drivers and pedestrians. The municipality task for the upcoming year is to tip the pyramid and design a policy that turns mobility into a service provided to the residents and not just an outcome of private ownership vehicles. Such a strategy will promote eventually road safety for all, better capacity of and utilize of the roads and lines and lanes, reduction of cost of living, eventually reduction of environment footprint, strengthening the solidarity and the community value, promoting the street level e-commerce and businesses around their area. So through ITC platform, actually through their participation in the program, the municipality understood that they can use the ITC platform to execute the city new vision of transportation. SafeUp is building communities of women and bringing them nearby guardians within minutes. It's 24/7 app. They are creating safer neighborhoods, campuses, cities, country eventually, all while solving one of the greatest pain women face globally, and that's gender violence. SafeUp is an app that allows women in communities to support and protect each other in real time. To make every woman feel safe everywhere, to walk down a dark alley without fear, to go to an anxiety-free date, go out dancing in nightclubs, or even just take a late night walk. The app allows its users, the option to instantly call nearby verified guardians, and enables it while ensuring the anonymity and privacy of users' information. This is one of the city's initiatives to promote gender equality in general, and to advance the personal security of women in particular. So by helping women feel more secure and having someone on the line that will be able to alert the police if needed, but at the push of a button, to prevent cases of sexual and physical harassment and an assault around the city in urban areas. It's also provide like a heat map of unsafe or unfeel comfortable areas around the city for the municipality, so they can take action and change the environment and assist the women community around the city. Trailze is a platform that enables ride shares operators, delivery businesses, and vehicle manufacturers to instantly add best-in-class navigation to their offering. So human-scale vehicles are the best options, as we have far for today, for mobility in densely populated areas. So with the COVID crisis, the delivery market has been booming, and micromobility rentals are considered to be the best alternative to highly dense public transport. Here in Tel Aviv, it's hard to walk around the street and not be bumped by a scooter or an e-scooter. So the Trailze SDK supports seamless integrations into delivery platforms and other existing location-aware services, providing safe, accurate, and context-aware navigation, as well as foundations for fleet management, rider assessment, and collecting a lot of data of what's happening in real time around the city for the municipality. RadGreen has developed an environmental monitoring system. They provide actionable insight on air quality, radiation, noise, though promoting safely health environment awareness and energy efficient to their users. So the company has now also the ability to detect environmental conditions which are favorable to the existence of the COVID incubation period, and to recommend the required course of action to reduce risks. They have sensors indoors and outdoors for large areas as well. RoadSense radars based device, they enable the monitoring of areas, tracking vehicles as well as pedestrians with complete respect of people's privacy. The company technology has the potential to significantly enrich the city's availability data, to better understand pedestrians' flows, to analyze frequency of public transport based on real-time data on crowding at different spots, to prioritize pedestrians through better traffic light management, even to see where a new zebra crossing should be added based on where people actually cross the road, or to send inspectors where most violations of micromobility regulations take place for better law enforcement. So I'm not kidding. In Tel Aviv is one of the hardest paying, the e-scooters. SkyLinx build safe bases on the ground, small autonomous urban logistic hubs. So they connect them to through a network of roads in the sky, monitored and managed all, of course. The aim is to unlock logistical air mobility in urban areas so that high-value small parcels can be quickly delivered to the one before last mile via air. So the utilization of drones over urban areas would require a regulatory as well as operational full-fledged solutions. And dealing with safety both in the air and also in the ground. So with providing energy and support to the drones in between flights, operating the logistic hubs for packing up and from dropping off packages, and managing low altitude air traffic around the city. Sometimes it feels like the future is already here, but we're building the surface towards it. Seamless Vision is developing the next generation of multi-purpose autonomous micromobility solutions. Their technology enables robotic platforms to navigate autonomously in both indoor and outdoor environments, and is used to help people with visual impairments navigate autonomously in urban areas, as well as maneuver safely in human dense environments. Integrating data from multiple sensors, obviously, in order to have the robot driving around the city. They use LiDAR, visual, GIS, and all sorts of sensors located on the robot. Her name is Polly, by the way. They generate a clear image of the platform surrounding and enables to navigate in complex environments around the city. So I think all in all, it's a comprehensive ecosystem for municipalities, entrepreneurs, companies, and organizations that can add value to our city and invite our partners to access a unique technology testing, showcasing facility, engage with municipalities, decision maker, collaborate with the university researchers, and by the end of it, to tap into a better living for us all. Thank you very much for your time, and I wish you enjoy the rest of the day of the conference.